Am I the a-hole for opening up the relationship after my girlfriend cheated? So about 3 weeks ago, I woke up in the morning to the sound of my girlfriend's phone vibrating against my bedside table, and I see that it's Kay, we'll call him, calling. Kay and my girlfriend had an on and off romantic history, and while she's never blatantly stated that she wants to go back to him, she reminisces about the good times they had together more than I'd like to remember. Needless to say, I'd always suspected something happening on the side between them, and I finally decided then that I needed some answers. I quickly picked up the phone off the table and went into the other room while my girlfriend was still asleep and answered it. Sure enough, it was Kay, and all I asked him was if he wanted my girlfriend back. He admitted he did, and that they had indeed been seeing each other on the side for a long time, but said that nothing of a sexual nature had taken place. BS. Fed up, I told him it was cool and to go ahead and continue seeing my girlfriend, but not to relay this call to her, as I would deal with our problems myself and didn't need more trust issues. He agreed. So I continued my relationship with my girlfriend because she's pretty hot and good in bed, and I opened some things on the side as well. But just a couple days ago, I decided to get into something serious with one of my side things, and obviously needed to call it quits with the current girlfriend. So I just told her the truth, that she didn't make me happy anymore and that I found someone else. My girlfriend got mad that I was cheating, but then I brought up that I know and have evidence of her infidelity too. Then she started sobbing, claiming her and Kay are just friends, blah blah. And after she said that, I was just done. So I left her apartment and am currently ghosting her to the best of my ability. But when I confided in my philosophical friend about this incident, he said that two wrongs don't make a right and that my evidence was shoddy. So now I'm here, and I think I'm perfectly in the right here. She got what was coming to her, but I'm curious to know if people agree with what my best friend thinks, because I value his opinion too. Am I an a-hole for this? Everyone sucks here. Your girlfriend sucks for cheating, or at the very least entertaining a connection with Kay that clearly crossed boundaries, lying about it, and gaslighting you when confronted. You suck for staying in the relationship not out of love or a desire to work things out, but because she's pretty hot and good in bed. You also chose to retaliate with your own infidelity rather than either addressing the issues or breaking things off when you knew the relationship was broken. Opening up the relationship without mutual agreement or clear communication isn't opening up, it's just more cheating. While your friend is right that two wrongs don't make a right, you should have exited the relationship instead of stooping to her level and creating more drama. At this point, both of you seem better off apart. Learn from this situation, communicate better in future relationships, and avoid staying in a toxic dynamic out of convenience. Now for some comments. You are the a-hole. Christ. First, you got on her phone and answered it behind her back. Then you told the guy not to tell her. Lie. And look at how you talk about her. Yep, you're an asshole. And a nice guy. Good on you for really only staying with her because she's hot and good in bed. Lol. What a dick. And really, you have zero clue that she's really cheating on you. This dude wants her back to hang out? That doesn't mean they're screwing. It could mean they're screwing, but you clearly don't trust her anymore based on all the shit you said. All you know is they hung out and nothing happened. You're making up a bunch of other shit with no proof besides your own fucking jealousy. She didn't do shit wrong, hanging out with someone. If you don't like it, then don't fucking date her, genius. You're an a-hole. You jumped the gun. Always get evidence of cheating. As this reads out right now, it seems you only needed a reason to find someone new to screw. You didn't confront her at all and started cheating right away. Let's be real. You don't love your girlfriend. She's hot and a trophy. You needed a reason to fuck someone else because either she doesn't do it like you want or you're just greedy and want to fuck multiple people. Regardless of your motivation, this is not how two adults act in a relationship. The way you acted was beyond selfish and you had no regard for her feelings at all. For future reference, if you feel something's up, then confront them first. You already had the ex's testimony. All you had to do was see if her story matched up with his, and if that wouldn't convince you, then dump her before you find someone else. What is wrong with people? So your evidence is keeping in contact with an ex? I keep in contact with my ex. I see him constantly. His best friends told me he still wants to be with me. That doesn't make me a cheater. You are 100% the asshole. Not just because two wrong things don't make a right, but cheating is awful in any situation. You don't have hard evidence, like seeing them being sexual. Plus, your views about women are quite frankly disgusting. I stuck with her because she's hot and good in bed. Not only are you an asshole, but you're a scumbag, and I'm glad your ex doesn't have to deal with it anymore. Story 2. I hate the life I'm left with. I have so much to be grateful for. A stable career, supportive friends, and access to therapy. But today is especially hard as I think about the reality I've created, not just for myself, but for him too. Both of us are alone and miserable in ways I never truly thought were possible. It feels like a bad dream. I made choices that shattered everything we built together. My affair began during a time when I was deeply unhappy, but unwilling to confront the real issues in my life or my marriage. I felt stuck, disconnected, and resentful. But instead of addressing those feelings with my husband or seeking help, I turned outward for validation. The person I cheated with wasn't special. It wasn't about love or even attraction. It was about escape. He was someone who paid attention to me, who made me feel seen in a way I thought I wasn't at home. I told myself it was harmless at first, just messages, just a little flirtation, but the line kept moving until I was too far across it to turn back. At the time, I convinced myself that I deserved to feel good, that I wasn't doing anything bad, but deep down, I knew. Every time I looked at my husband, every time he smiled at me or told me he loved me, the guilt twisted in my chest. I lied to him and to myself, pretending I was still the person he thought I was, while knowing I was jumping another man's bones. I wish I could say I stopped it before it went too far, but I didn't. I let it run its course, selfishly clinging to the rush, blind to the devastation it would leave in its wake. I've done the work in the IC, individual counseling, to understand the why behind my actions. It's helped me reach a place where I can forgive myself, at least intellectually. But the pain and guilt still hit hard. Some days, like today, it feels impossible to bear. I've been trying to take things one day at a time because the thought of facing the future alone is too overwhelming. I see older couples walking hand in hand, and I cry because that should have been us. That's what he dreamed of, what we planned for, and it won't be. I destroyed it. He's been clear. He says we're getting divorced, that there's no path back for us, and that he'll never marry me again. It's devastating to hear, even though I know I have no right to expect forgiveness. At the same time, as I work through this process in IC, I'm starting to realize I may not want what I thought I did. It's strange to think that this journey might lead me to a place where I no longer hope for reconciliation, but I'm not there yet. For now, I'm just trying to keep going, to rebuild myself into someone I can respect, even if it doesn't change the outcome. Some days are easier than others, but today's just hard. How do you keep moving forward when the life you thought you'd have is gone? How do you stop mourning what you've lost and start accepting what is? Now some comments. I can feel your pain in this post, and it's so hard to sit with that reality. I'm in the same boat, living in the aftermath of my own choices and knowing I can't undo the hurt I caused. It's brutal to come to terms with how my actions didn't just hurt him, but also destroyed the life we were supposed to share. I also turned to someone else when I felt unseen, thinking it was harmless at first, and now I can see how selfish I was. Like you, I've been working on myself in IC, and while it's helped me understand my why, there are still days where the guilt is overwhelming. You're not alone in this. We just have to keep going, one day at a time, and hope we can rebuild something better for ourselves, even if it's not with the person we thought we'd grow old with. I could have written this myself. The guilt, the mourning, the constant wondering how you could do something so destructive. It's all so familiar. I told myself similar lies. It's just messages. It's harmless, but it wasn't. It's devastating to think about what I had and what I threw away. And there are days when the grief feels unbearable. I know I'll never be able to have what I destroyed. And like you, I'm working to accept that, but it's not easy. For me, it helps to focus on the small victories, finding moments where I feel like I'm making progress in becoming a better version of myself. It's not much, but it's something to hold on to. Keep sharing and reaching out on hard days. We're in this together. I know how hard it is to look at the life you have now and compare it to the one you destroyed. I feel the same way when I think about my ex and the future we planned together. I let my resentment and unhappiness fester instead of confronting it, and let someone else's attention pull me away. It wasn't about love or even them. It was about escape, just like you said. The worst part for me is knowing that I didn't just hurt him. I hurt myself too. I mourn the person I was when I was with him, the version of me I felt proud of. Some days, the weight of it all feels crushing. But like you, I'm just trying to rebuild myself into someone I can respect. That's all we can do. Keep moving forward, even on the hard days.